All right, in the first alert forecast, we've taken some of the jigsaw puzzle pieces off the map today. So I'm talking about the cold weather advisory, which is shaded in light blue. The last few mornings of Santa Clara Valley had been included. You are not now. I'm going to put the numbers on here in a second. But first, you still have a cold weather advisory for the inland East Bay communities. And look how beautifully that conforms up there to the North Bay valleys. Let's put the actual color contour on here. Deep shades of blue show you where the temperatures are going to be colder. And when we've actually put the lows in, go ahead and see what those temperatures are like up there in the North Bay. Actually, let's start down here. Santa Cruz, 50. That's it. That's as cold as you're going to get. Meanwhile, Morgan Hill will be 39. 37 in Livermore, 37 in Concord. It'll be in the mid-40s in the city tomorrow. And then you really see that pocket of deep blue up there, those pools of much colder air sheltering down into those valleys and just sinking down and getting trapped, and it's going to be in the mid-30s again in the North Bay valleys. Daytime highs will be fine tomorrow, so let's take a look at those. Much kinder looking color contour on the map, and the temperatures here are still for the most part mid-60s, but if you do the same tour, look at Santa Cruz, 64 there tomorrow, 64 in Half Moon Bay. Those numbers, if you just jump that up by about 5-6 degrees, you now have 70-degree days. And we're going to be doing that. We're only going up about 5 or 6 degrees by the middle of next week. That's not a huge warm-up, but from a psychological barrier, it does get us back to 70 for parts of the bay for daytime highs. It'll be kind of nice. We haven't done a whole lot of that in quite some time. One last item, of course, to be aware of is if you take a look right off the coast, we do still have a surf advisory. So you're going to want to be mindful if with this lovely weather, of course, these are going to be weekdays, so maybe not as many people thinking of going to the beaches, but you can see what the swell looks like that's coming our way. It's a good amount of energy coming out of the North Pacific that will be pointed in our general direction. So through tomorrow, just be very careful. And then probably even beyond that, we might still be dealing with a little bit of an issue from sneaker waves, which could then show up as we get towards the middle of the week. So one other item to talk about is tracking the progression of Tule fog. Let's come back now to the state of California. High clouds leave, Tule fog stays. You see the difference there? This is a stationary low cloud that's going to be on the ground in places for much of the Central Valley. That's tomorrow. Some of it might try and get into the bay. Let's go ahead and go to the forecast imagery on that and see how detailed we can get in terms of how likely that is. Not terribly. So sure, we'll see the Tule fog fill in the Central Valley each morning this week, but let's use Tuesday as an example. Pretty widespread extent there for Tuesday, but if we come in for a closer look and zoom into the bay, it's patchy for us. Maybe a little bit develops through the South Bay, maybe a little develops in the North Bay. That's not overwhelming, but that is exactly how it starts. And you got to start somewhere, and that's how it started when we were back in early December. That's what the first couple of days of Tule fog looked like. And then if we stay locked in this pattern for too long, it will be able to keep growing off of that each day. And when you look at the 7-day forecast, there really is not a significant change coming our way. There's no rain in our forecast until, if we're lucky, the end of the month. And that center of high pressure is probably going to keep allowing the Tule fog to grow. So we'll keep you updated on that as we progress through the next week. All right, Andrea, over to you.